All right. Welcome to Wrestling Round Table.
What?
Yeah.
Wrestling Round Table?
Yeah. Wrestling Round
Who
Table.
the hell decided on that? Nobody said Wrestling Round Table when we came out. The table ain't even round.
Yeah.
All right.
You been smoking again, Ed?
Listen, it wasn't my idea.
Are you sure?
Wrestling Round
You
Table.
come up with a lot of bad ideas, Ed.
A lot of bad
I'm telling
ideas.
you.
Oh my
All right,
goodness.
Maybe we should have something like real like fancy like Wrestle Chat 2012 or Uber Chat or something. Just come up with a stupid.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with
What-
Wrestling
what-
Chat, okay? You like that? Wrestling Chat? Chat 2012? Does that work for you?
No, I don't like it.
No,
at all.
that really doesn't work for me.
No.
I'm not feeling it, Ed. You got to come up with a name that I'm like.
Yeah, come up
feel.
with something better.
All right.
WrestleMania.
Ultimate Wrestling Chat. Does that work for you?
No, still doesn't work.
No.
No, no.
I'm
How
not getting
about just
goosebumps.
wrestling,
Look, do you see goosebumps?
Wrestle-
All right.
Come on, I don't see
All
them.
right. I want to hear from you guys.
All right, what do you want to call
Oh,
this
sure. The talent always has to come up with the name
I
of the
gotta say,
show.
Wrestling
Well, that's how I came up with the other one.
Wrestling Square Table is his idea.
That sucks.
That's
Jeez.
that's not too good. Well,
You told me try to come up with something.
mine is a vigilante talks wrestling, but nobody wants that one.
No.
How about we just listen? You make up a name for it, all right? You're watching it. What the hell do we care? We're sitting here telling you. You're watching what we do. Just call it whatever the hell you want. Who cares? Get on with it.
We're going to stick with Wrestling Chat, okay?
All right.
Chat, all right?
Chat. That's all you do is chat.
Well, all we're doing is chatting
I'm
about
surprised you
wrestling.
didn't try to
About
work your
wrestling.
name into the title. of
Yeah,
the
it's
show.
some
I
some
tried,
wrestling
but it got
chat.
Better off
canceled.
Ed. Better off Ed.
Better off wrestling chat. All right. So what are we chatting about?
Yeah,
Since
what are
we're
we
all
chatting
experts
about?
on the sport of professional wrestling.
All
You
right?
spilled water, dude.
What?
Clean up after yourself.
There's no
Sheesh.
nothing there. All right? Today's topic is your favorite champion of all time.
Of
My
any
favorite champion,
federation?
Any federation.
Any federation.
All right, now listen, before we get started, it's only fair to tell the audience that our colleague here, JC Van Dyke,
Hello.
you'll see him, he's on an exercise bike. The reason he's on an exercise bike, for the 2 or 3 people watching who might wonder, is because JC went to a wedding last week and, as he puts it, consumed more than 5 alcoholic beverages. So he's back into training here, working off the more than 5 alcoholic beverages. So, all right, favorite champion of all time. That sounds good. Let's go ahead. Let's start with you.
Let's hear yours.
Yeah,
All right, my favorite of all time is Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Ric
Flair.
Flair. Yes.
I never heard of him. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh,
I've heard
how
of Ric
could you-
Flair. Well, I got a couple
Why
of people
is he
like, what?
like the greatest of all time? Why?
Yeah,
The greatest
listen.
champion. Why?
Why?
Yeah,
why?
why?
I don't
Yeah,
need to
that's-
ask why.
I asked why.
You
Come on.
caught him by
Oh,
surprise.
come on. Jeez, I mean, you
Jeez.
really
Why?
Ric Flair.
How many
Why?
times has this man been champion of every single federation? I mean, like,
He's only been champion of 2.
WWE.
listen. How many times has he been WCW champion?
14.
How many times has he been WWE champion?
2.
2.
16-time champion.
16-time champion.
Enough said.
Enough said.
All right, well, let's elaborate a little on Ric
Yeah,
Flair for a
Ric
moment.
Flair. What
I mean,
made
what
him
does he
such
bring
a
to the
great-
table that no
head
other
of
champion?
the four horsemen.
Okay.
Oh, okay, fine.
But you're
So he had
thinking,
his friend.
so you're thinking in terms of just numbers that he has held the title the most,
Yes.
but not the longest.
I didn't
No.
see that. That would have to go to Hulk Hogan, right?
No.
Bruno Sammartino. I would
Bruno.
imagine.
Bruno Sammartino.
Bruno.
I'm sorry,
Bruno.
I'm like, listen, that's why I have you guys here.
Jeez.
Come on, you know, makes
Well,
sense.
so basically, you're saying Ric Flair. Are you saying Ric
All
Flair
right,
because
Ric
of his?
Flair is my favorite. He's my pick. I'm telling you, that's why.
Okay.
Why. I like
No.
Ric
So it
Flair.
has nothing to do with him being the 60-minute man type.
All right,
thing.
we don't disagree with it. We're just asking.
It doesn't.
you to
It
elaborate.
doesn't like it. Does,
I'm
none
trying-
of it, you know, adds up to like he could do a really good promo and sell
I-
tickets. It's just that you liked him. Do you have like a crush on Ric Flair?
No, that's not my reasoning. All right.
I-
All right. Well, let's go to your
Do you
pick.
get goosebumps when he goes?
Who's
Well,
All right.
we're all going to discuss
Who-
Ric
who's-
Flair for a moment. This is the way
Ric
it works.
Flair,
All right,
this is how it
all right,
works.
So here's
Well,
what
nobody
I'll say
told me
about
that.
Ric
I
Flair.
was just told we're ad-libbing this crap.
We are.
We are.
You might think this is scripted.
This is crap.
Anyway.
This is only crap
well,
because you're here.
Okay,
Well,
Ric
I thought
Flair.
it was crap because of JC's.
I'll give you a couple things about Ric Flair that I like. I think Ric Flair, the quality of matches that Ric Flair put on is certainly at a higher level than most of the champions of today certainly put on.
current champions.
I think that Ric Flair certainly put a lot of butts in seats, obviously, and probably still does even at his age. But I don't think you can just go by just strict numbers and say,
No.
well, he was 16 times champion, so he's the best. I think you have to go by how he worked with his other, with his opponents, and all of that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
what's your feeling on him, JC? Ric Flair, you know who he is, right?
Yeah, I know who he is.
Blonde-haired guy,
Yeah, blonde hair guy.
big nose.
Big nose. Yeah,
I heard
they
his
call him the
feet
Nature
stink.
Boy. They don't call him that for nothing.
That's true. Nature Boy Ric Flair.
There's more than one nature boy.
All right, what's your favorite Ric Flair match? What to you stands out about Ric Flair?
The one match I remember is when he
I remember that match.
Yeah, that was a good match.
It was a damn good match.
seriously
Okay.
when he won the 1992 Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that was okay.
All
Okay.
right.
All right.
So that was the great match.
That was a great match. And what about you? Your favorite Ric Flair match?
Yeah. Since this is your guy, you picked him.
Oh, my favorite during the time of Evolution.
Oh, okay, late Ric Flair.
Yeah,
Late Ric Flair.
I like some of the late stuff. I mean, of course, the early stuff where he was with the Horsemen in WCW with
All
Arn
right,
Anderson and all
maybe
that
I
stuff.
go back a little farther. I'm going to say the Ric Flair Dusty Rhodes feuds. That was really good. I think that Flair and Rhodes just they worked together like Flair worked well with everybody,
Yeah,
but I think the Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair were just like almost the antithesis of each other, and I think they brought out the best in each other. So I'll say that the Ric Flair feuds with Dusty Rhodes were my favorite. How about you?
Yeah. Well, there's so many you can pick from. I mean, you could go with the feud that he had with Steamboat, but for me, watching him wrestle Steamboat, it was kind of like you're watching the same guy. Just the only difference is Rick was more flamboyant. But to me, if you want, what makes a good match is completely two different people working on a match. That's why Dusty and Ric Flair had such great matches, because they're complete opposite. And another guy he was complete opposite of was Sting.
The Stinger.
Stinger.
Good matches with Sting.
That's
Right.
right.
Definitely good matches
Right,
with
yeah.
Sting. I think the thing with me and Dusty Rhodes is you had Ric Flair, who was supposed to be this flamboyant playboy that nobody could ever aspire to be, the jet flying, limo driving guy, and then you
Women
had
stealing.
Dusty, who's like the common man,
Airplane flying.
son of a
Gun.
bummer guy, and it just made it was entertaining. But certainly you could point to Sting, you could certainly point to Ricky Steamboat.
Dusty Rhodes.
Well, we did point to Dusty Rhodes.
Harley Race.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
Holly
Where have
Race.
you been?
Harley Race.
Harley.
Yeah, he had a lot of great matches, and of course rivalries with even Roddy Piper.
Piper,
and, the list goes on and
Savage
on.
and all the.
It's a good choice. We're not saying it's not a good choice.
Yeah.
but
It's
you,
an easy choice.
we just
All right.
ask you who
doesn't
you
show
based
that
it
you
on.
know too much about wrestling.
That's right.
All
All
right,
it
I'll
shows
just-
you took the popular one. You took
Yeah,
the easy
you
way
took
out.
the easy way
Well,
out.
that's
What
like,
would
it's
you
like
guys
wrestling
wanna
in
talk about?
Chicago and saying, right here in Chicago. And then everybody said,
What
oh,
you guys-
right here in Chicago.
You guys
And
would
then,
have criticized me
that's
even if I
cheap
would have picked Shawn Michaels.
It's cheap heat. You got a cheap pop. So okay,
Yeah, cheap
all the
pop,
Ric
Ric
Flair
Flair.
fans out there are like, way to go, Slim Stone.
Yeah,
we get it. All right, let's switch to our friend
All right,
here who's
JC
now
Van
drinking
Dyke.
water.
Drinking water over there.
Your favorite champion of all time.
I know you guys are gonna disagree with me. Was Hogan.
Hulk
Hogan.
Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan.
Okay.
Why Hulk Hogan?
Wow, that's an interesting choice.
The whole vitamin thing?
And okay, give us your
Saying your prayers?
rundown.
Yeah.
I remember the first match he was in against the Iron Sheik. When he first won the WWE title back in 1984
Okay.
at Madison Square Garden. He
Okay.
replaced Bob Backlund
Correct.
for the rematch.
Now let me ask you a question. You're basing it on amount of people drawn into the arenas, or the fame he brought to the sport? What are you basing the championship on? It can't be wrestling, because he's
No.
not a
Yeah.
great wrestler.
Wrestling.
Okay, so you're basing your
Hogan
pick
knows two
on
moves.
what? Just the excitement of the whole Hulkamania thing?
The excitement in it, the whole 9 yards. with the whole
It's
thing.
fair. Okay, so I have to go with my. I guess it's. Well, what's your favorite Hulk Hogan match?
With him and Savage at WrestleMania 5.
That's a very good match. I'll give you props for that one. Great match.
You did a lot better than Slim Stone.
Oh, thanks. You know.
All right, my favorite Hulk Hogan match, and this isn't going to be easy because I really don't like Hulk Hogan, but my favorite Hulk Hogan match is, I'll tell you the truth, it's probably Hulk Hogan versus another guy I don't like very much, Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. I think they really did a really good job. I think they told a really good story in that match, and I think that even though it wasn't a technically great match, I think it had the elements of everything that makes a good pro wrestling match. You really didn't know who was going to win. It told a story. It was the end of an era, supposedly the end of an era for Hulk Hogan, who would have another 2 or 3 eras. But
6 or 7.
You know what? It actually made me sit up and take notice of a Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior match, which don't happen very much. So
No.
that's my favorite one. How about you, Ed?
I'm going with Mega Powers versus Money Inc.
Okay, he's not even going.
Oh, you
with a
mean
Hulk
the
Hogan
Mega
straight
Bucks.
match.
Hulk Hogan in there?
Yeah, he's in there.
He's in
not
there, but he was
there.
part
But
of
I'm bringing a whole
Randy
bunch of
Savage.
other guys to the
Okay.
ring. And of course, you
had
mean,
Lee
you had
Elizabeth, the manager.
Going
at
with
the
what he
time.
had on Superstars with Brutus Beefcake, where he fought Silent McNee and some other jabroni.
Hogan needs a lot of help. That's all I say.
Okay, and how about you? What favorite Hulk Hogan match?
You can easily pick from a lot of Hulk Hogan matches. I mean, I could easily do the easy way out and just pick WrestleMania between him and The Rock. But a match that you guys have actually seen, okay? I love his WrestleMania matches with the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yep.
But my favorite Hulk Hogan match is probably a match you guys haven't seen, because it's a match from Japan. Hulk Hogan versus the Great Muta in Tokyo, Japan. I don't know what federation it was for, but it was around 1992. And this was during the time that Hulk Hogan was leaving the WWE and going to WCW. And in this match, he actually showed the guy could wrestle when he wanted to. Because in Japan, you had to show that you could wrestle. And even though he did the same moves over and over again, he's still over.
Well,
And
you
still
know, we
put
should
on a
bring
great
up
match.
one thing. As much as I say I don't like Hulk Hogan, no one is denying that he is a competent wrestler. I just think he got lazy and he started living off the Hulkamania leg drop, thing too much. But yeah, there's no question that in his time, even in AWA, he showed he could wrestle a little bit. And you took the easy way out too, though, because let's face it,
I mean, I kind of took the
Hulk
easy way
Hogan.
out.
All right.
All right. Well, who's
At
next?
least you
I'll
didn't,
say-
you didn't admit
Right.
you took the easy way
Either
out.
anyone, I don't care.
Well,
You
it's
pick.
either it's you.
You're
two
the
guys
host.
left.
You pick.
Yeah, you
All
pick.
right, you go next.
Me?
Yeah,
I
who's
have
your
to
favorite?
pick my favorite
Yeah, your favorite
wrestling champion.
We're
of all
putting you
time.
on the line.
Okay. And it's easy. Because he is one of the toughest SOBs in the history
Oh God,
of
you're gonna go
professional
with
wrestling.
him?
You all right? You, Nate,
I'll-
who do you
I'll-
think I'm going with?
I think I know who you're going with.
Well,
but you know,
blurt it out. Let's see if you actually know.
well, you're saying toughest SOB.
Right.
That brings to mind Steve Austin.
And you would be wrong because it would be
Mick
Harley
Foley.
Race.
Oh, man.
8-time NWA
You shocked
World
me.
Heavyweight Champion. Back in the time when being the world's champion actually meant something. Because a group of people in a room had to vote for you. Had to believe that you could hold the belt. And then also keep the belt just in case if someone shot on you. But you want to talk about the toughest SOB? Austin might be tough. But the things that Harley
Nowhere
Race
near
has
towards
done
Harley Race.
in and outside the ring is legendary. He is truly the toughest SOB in professional wrestling.
You know,
Harley Race.
Mick Foley told a story one time. I'll get it out of the way. Mick Foley said that in WCW, if you got hurt in the ring, WCW paid for your medical expenses. If you got hurt outside the ring, you were on your own.
Yeah.
And apparently he was fighting Vader, and Vader ran him into the guardrail and busted his head wide open. And when he got back to the dressing room, the doctor said, Mick, shame it happened outside the ring because now it's coming out of your pocket. And apparently, as Mick told the story, Harley Race, who was, I guess, managing Vader at the time, says to the doctor, that was from being whipped into the turnbuckle. To which the doctor says, no, it wasn't. He got hit by the guardrail. And Harley Race comes over to the doctor and says, I said it was being hit by a turnbuckle. And Mick Foley did not pay for those stitches in his head.
right. No.
So that'll tell you
That's
something.
the power of Harley Race.
And I also remember somebody said that Harley Race once told, I believe it was Sid, that if I hit you with my left hand and you don't go down, I will walk the fuck around you to see what's holding you up. Which is pretty cool.
Right.
So Harley Race was a tough old bird. I don't know my favorite Harley Race match. I think maybe there was a great Harley Race match with Bob Backlund.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be my choice because, Bob Backlund, again, is a real deal. So that was as close to what people might call a real wrestling match as you're going to get. So I'll go with that as my favorite Harley Race match. And yours is?
Well, to be honest,
You don't know much about Harley Race,
no,
do
I'm
you?
not. I'm not a huge Harley Race fan. I know
Why
of
not?
Harley Race, but
You know, if Harley was standing here right now,
I
he'd
get my
knock you
ass.
out.
He would hit
I
you
get
with the
my
left
ass
hand and walk behind you to see
That's-
what the fuck is holding you up.
No, because you'd be
no,
down.
I would be on the floor.
That's true.
Come on, spit it out. Harley Race.
Harley
Harley
Race,
Race.
you know, it's kind of hard to pick that with that.
This
man.
just shows your lack of knowledge.
Listen.
Did you pick yours yet?
No.
You should have
No,
done
I
it.
did
Ahead of
not.
everybody.
No.
Go right ahead.
I mean, I
Where's-
liked the match he had, champion versus champion, Bob Backlund. You could definitely see another champion versus champion match that I've seen with him and superstar Billy Graham. Of course, you could also say him and Bruno. But truly, the match that I'd love to see of Harley, and this is during the time he was way past his prime. AWA. Harley Race versus then AWA World's Heavyweight Champion Larry Zbyszko. At that point in time, he still showed he still had some left in the tank. And of course, working with Larry Zbyszko, they put on one hell of a match and tore down the building. So that's my favorite one to watch.
That's a good match. How about you, Harley Race?
There's a lot of them to choose from.
There is.
Yeah.
Pick
Pick
one.
one.
Pick one. I couldn't pick one.
With Flair, most definitely.
Well, it is
Flair,
Harley
that's
Race, but some
easy.
great matches. But,
Flair.
Okay, that's an easy way out. Again, that's an easy way out.
Easy way.
All right, well, everybody's taking the easy way out.
All right.
All right.
All right. So
Show's over.
No, it's your turn to
Oh,
pick.
it's my turn. Oh, favorite champion of all time. All right, let me think about this. I'm not going to take the easy way out. My favorite champion of all time? David Arquette. You know why David Arquette?
David
Because
Arquette.
the son of a bitch ruined WCW. The minute everybody saw David Arquette with a championship around his waist,
ruined it.
they're like, screw this. We're not watching this garbage anymore. We're going to switch over to the WWE. So the idiot ruins the whole goddamn show. And for that reason, he's my favorite, because at that time, WCW sucked anyway. And you're like, you know what it's like? It's like somebody on life support saying, please pull the plug. And you're like, no, we won't pull the plug. We want to sit here and watch you suffer. Well, David Arquette pulled the plug, because when they gave him the championship belt, even little kids said, this sucks. And we're just going to turn this crap off. And then the rest is history. So if you're going to talk about who did the most for the sport, Hulk Hogan put asses in the seats, yes. Ric Flair put asses in the seats, yes. Harley Race was a tough son of a bitch, yes. David Arquette destroyed the WCW. And by God, that's why he's my favorite champion. And I don't care what anybody says. How about that?
Well,
What's my favorite David Arquette match? I don't give a damn. I can't remember any. It doesn't matter.
he practically ruined WCW.
David Arquette is my choice.
It practically went down the toilet when David Arquette was champion for.
Somebody told me he's
You
an actor. I
realize
don't even
that
know who the hell
now
he is.
no one is really watching this video
Yeah.
anymore. You just thrown out David Arquette and they just turned it off.
Well, you see, he's ruined this show too. There's another reason to vote for David Arquette. Now I have to sit here next week and have this baboon say, welcome to Wrestling Roundtable when it's square. This guy riding a tricycle and attempting to
We
lose
changed it to
weight.
chat. Remember?
Wrestling
Absolutely
chat?
ridiculous.
Yeah, we changed it to chat.
Who changed it to that?
David Arquette.
I did.
Was that your decision?
Yeah, it's a final.
You didn't clear it with us.
Hey Arquette, if you're watching this thing, at least, put a comment on this damn thing and say that I was right. I was the only one who watched it.
You know what my favorite match with David Arquette is? Him and Courtney Cox.
That'd be a pretty good match.
There's a sex tape waiting to come out.
David Arquette and Courtney Cox.
What happened, David? She kicked your ass to the curb?
Yeah.
What happened?
What's up?
Where have you been?
Where have you been? Making
Your
friggin'
wife still looks hot, or ex-wife now.
commercials or something. It doesn't matter. You killed WCW, and that was damn good job. Damn good.
I guess
job.
he's gonna go make another Scream movie.
Yeah, maybe. Scream 28.
That's what every WCW fan did when he won the title. They screamed.
Oh, and wait a minute. Didn't he also? He was in Ready to Rumble or something.
Ready to rumble.
Ready to
Come on.
Rumble. How come you're 40 years old and you're playing a teenager constantly? What the hell is wrong with you anyway?
He hasn't grown up.
Here's a thought. Why don't you come back to wrestling and maybe you could destroy the WWE, what's left of it?
Yeah.
And
Big John
then
Cena.
we'd just have TNA, and maybe you could be the champion there, and we won't have wrestling anymore. How's that sound? You want to kill something else there, David?
You want him to destroy wrestling in general?
Sure.
Damn.
Why not?
At this point.
At this point in time, he won't be destroying much. Have
on
you
life
seen
support.
wrestling now?
No,
that's a
God.
whole
You
nother
haven't.
topic For
Can't
another
watch
day.
watch.
And I'll
John,
tell you this.
you can't see
We'll
me.
get to it. You can't see him.
me.
Can you see him?
The hell and damn it, who the hell is
Frickin'
gonna watch
CM
SmackDown?
Punk bull
CM
crap.
Punk. CM Punk doesn't weigh as much as my left leg. If CM Punk is watching, I challenge you to a fight. The only problem is, I would have to be in a different weight class.
Heck, I think we can get.
You'd
Jason
have to either lose
Van Dyke
weight or
over
you'd
there.
have to bulk up.
I think he'd have
Catch
to bulk
weight
up.
fight, maybe.
I want to see David Arquette against CM Punk. For
Here's
the
an
belt.
idea,
That's
you know-
what I want to see.
Why didn't they, you know, what, Dana White, what the hell's wrong with you? You know, you need a replacement for UFC 141. Hey, CM Punk.
Or David Arquette.
David Arquette.
And there wouldn't be any more.
They're not doing anything.
Why don't we just throw those two together and
CM
make
Punk
that a
versus
match?
David Arquette in a UFC event.
That's right.
David Arquette
Why
and
not?
CM Punk.
What are we talking about next week? You don't even know, right? It's somebody else's choice,
You don't
right?
remember, do you?
Bestest all-time favoriteest champion in the world that we would pay to see if we paid to see wrestling matches.
No, next week I told you it's gonna be Divas.
Divas. Well, I happen to be an expert on that. So tune in next week when I'll tell you all about the Divas.
All the
I'll tell you a
Divas.
story about Lisa.